One of the great records. One that we had hoped to play tomorrow because we were going to play all the favourites over the long, weary years. But, of course, there's been an overspill, so we thought we'd play it today. And I hope you enjoyed it. Baker Street, Terry or Priceless, completely unique. I feel like I'm losing a good friend this week. Oh, Mintball Marlene. Tish, Courage Camille. From Chichi Saint-Martin, image consultant. To those that matter. Chichi. Following our meeting the other day, I've listed a few things I think you should consider for your new post. Well, fire away. It's vital that the changes made reflect your new status as King Wogan, and this should help. Taupe and moleskin will definitely be the choice for attire. Gives you that relaxed look while still retaining a hint of je ne sais. And for the benefit of the webcam, you might also want to consider a fedora, worn at a jaunty angle. Well, that's not a bad idea. Hey, what about a Homburg? It'll be, indeed, a Frankfurter. It'll be appropriate for your underlings, Ms. Bowles in particular, to adopt a fawning, in awe sort of manner. It may be appropriate if they would fall to their knees in appreciation on occasion while maybe feeding you with titbits of first-class provender. I warm to this idea. Finally, I feel you should recline gracefully rather than just sit. Is it possible you can work your equipment from a chaise longue? Looking forward to the new show. Well, so am I. The chaise longue. That reminds me, Alan Bennett always says that when one of his plays comes on television, he has to watch it from behind the chaise longue. Tell you who liked this. Father Brian Darcy. He loves it, and he's right. That's Leanne Womack and the Sons of the Pioneers or something. I hope you dance. And now a very special person is in the room. We don't have much in the way, I'm afraid, of fanfares here.
Well, that's okay. I can't. This is a very strange moment for me, Terry.
No, come on.
It is. I used to listen when I used to be a trolley boy at a supermarket in Birchwood in Warrington. I used to drive there in the Mini that my mum bought me, and for £500, I used to listen to you on Radio 2. And now I'm here sat opposite you on the day before you leave. This is madness. This is crazy.
No, it isn't. I'm so pleased. And as I said, I hope that my listeners will treat you with the same respect and decency and devotion that they've always shown to me. And I'm sure they will.
Well, I've just been witnessing Barrowlands there, dragging the emails off the machine, off the printer and bringing them through. And those magical words. And I hope they continue to send those emails through in the week, because they'd be very welcome.
I'll be very disappointed if they don't. I expect them to take you to their bosoms.
And are you sure you want to leave?
No, I'm not going.
I don't think you should. I think you're on fire at the moment.
But this means, well, what's going to happen then to Simon Mayo if you won't?
Well, that's his problem. That's not our problem, Terry, to be honest.
Oh, I see. I have some questions for you to ask Chris Evans.
Oh, my goodness.
At his interview this morning. Look, it's not his interview.
I said to Barrowlands in the pub last night, by the way, at about midnight, because he's worried about the weather, so he just stays over every night for the last 30-odd years. And I said, what do you want me to do? He said, don't worry about that.
Yeah. But that's the way.
Yeah, of course, that's the way.
You mustn't worry.
I've been studying your magic since I was born, basically, and what goes on. And I've realised that it's not much, is it?
Nothing.
Yeah, you have three magic ingredients that I've figured out. One is shameless innuendo.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
No, I know. Corpsing is always useful.
Oh, you must always corpse before the end of the punchline. The best storyteller I've ever met in Ireland was a lovely man called Tom Lynch, who really could tell a story.
Yes.
But as his brother said at his funeral, he never finished a story in his life because he always collapsed into uncontrollable laughter.
Yeah.
And so did everybody else.
Yeah, no, that's funny. And also, you must accept all free food. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's a disappointing lack of food this morning.
Yeah. Well, thank God after yesterday, because we had curry up to our armpits.
I know.
Yeah, so it's a bit disappointing. You brought little Noah. He doesn't eat any curry. Would he eat a curry at all?
Well, he could have a go. I mean, he's had his Weetabix this morning with that sickly milk that babies seem to like.
Oh.
Or at least that we give them. And he's had his squash banana.
What about a BBC sugar stick?
Well, these sugar sticks that are hanging around, sort of being draped off the control desk here, I keep putting them in my mouth and then putting them back. Do you do the same thing? Have we been sucking on the same candy over the last week?
You see, do you think broadcasting is catching?
Yeah. Please don't leave.
Now, look, I have these questions for you.
Okay.
I'm going to ask them briefly. And beekeeper, why did you apply for the job?
Me? I didn't apply for the job. It was thrust upon me.
What does he think he can bring to the job?
Not much, I would imagine.
How does he feel he'd be better than the other applicants?
Well, I definitely won't.
Such as Sir Jimmy Young. What does he seem? What do you see yourself doing in 10, 20 and 30 years' time?
Looking for another job, probably.
How will he get up after partying until 3 each morning?
Don't go to bed.
And can you provide references?
References?
Well, yes. Well,
or references?
Yeah.
I can provide irreverences, if that works.
Good man. Would you cling to the wreckage for a little bit longer?
Absolutely.
Is Noah all right out there?
He's fine. He's with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's time for you to go after what you just said about Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé, I'm one of his biggest fans, Michael's. Hold on, and that's what I'm trying to do. Now, look, I just thought, since you two will be working together, and
Will we?
hopefully in some kind of relationship, whatever it may be. I know you're a married man, so careful, Lynn.
Okay.
And
okay.
you know, yeah.
Is this the official handing over of the traffic reporter? Is this a ceremonial thing that you're doing?
Well, actually, it's a bit like lifting the bride over the threshold.
You'll never lift me, mate.
I'll carry you to him.
Oh, how kind.
I see it more as a shining beacon.
There's no need for that.
Yeah, battery's gone again.
Yeah, don't give her a chance. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Never give that woman an
Well,
opening.
the arms are unfolded at
Yeah,
the moment,
it's like-
which is
yeah.
a bonus. Oh, they're folded
Yeah,
again.
I'm folding them. Like, go on then, impress me, go on.
Well, that's the thing, you see. You'll notice Chris Evans, when he takes over the show,
Yeah.
very keen on the old body language, and that's important on the radio.
He's an educated man.
Oh, Linny, you seem such a sport. I'd woo you with poetry, but I'm not that sort. I'm shy and reserved, and lacking in pluck. And there... leave it there. Leave it.
Yeah, leave it.
Tomorrow.
Am I wasting my time in thinking you're mine? And dreaming the way that I do? Will I lose in the end and be just a friend? It's time that I knew Norbert.
No, but I'm promised to another. His name is Chris Evans.
See?
No, my wife is in bed. She's asleep.
Oh, okay, fine, okay.
He brought the child in. What a rest, what a break for Natasha.
West side of Manchester, Lee Road, the A572, closed westbound, an accident between Falconwood Chase and Hilton Crescent. Police are on the scene. Smiley Marley was saying it was quite busy on the M1 if you're travelling north, junction 26 to 27. Nothing special reported. There are also delays southbound around junction 24 at Kegworth. M6, look out for the breakdown on the northbound side up to junction 13 Stafford. That is delaying you. In London, we've got a lane closed on the A104. Now, that's the Woodford New Road. It's at the roundabout, the Waterworks corner, the junction with the A406 North Circular Road. Essex at Thurrock, the A13 has been closed westbound, so that's into town between Grays and Lakeside, the A1012 through to the A126. Problems on the M23, still closed southbound. The accident is at the M25, junction 8. There is still access from the M25, though. Queues back to Purley on that one. And Bristol Airport Road, the A4174, that's closed in both directions. There's been an accident between Salcombe Road and the A37 Wells Road on number 03700 100 200.
Who would be a motorist?
I don't know.
I don't,
Not Chris Evans.
No
He
encouragement.
had a terrible
you know.
time, didn't he?
Yeah. One thing about Chris, I don't know whether you will want to sustain this. It's probably the least popular part of the programme. It's been a disaster, more or less, since we started it.
Do tell.
It's called the Ask Lynn spot.
Oh, yeah, no, I like this. This is one of my
let
favourite
it
bits.
die.
Yes, come on.
Yeah. So there's one last question.
Oh, is there? Yes, right. Okay.
And it's a tricky one. It's the case of the unfortunate South African athlete. You remember Caster, what's her name?
Yes.
Semenya, yeah. Well, my wife's, Miles, says, my wife's sheer brilliance at parking our large car has led me to believe she may not be all woman.
Come here and say that. Come here
where's
and
the
say
question?
that.
Well, is there a question?
No, well, I tell you what, there's very rarely a question, and there's never an answer.
All right.
I know where you live. I can come and give you a clip round the ear, you know.
Yeah, I'd play up to her a bit, Chris, a bit sensitive on the Welsh bit.
Yeah,
because
okay,
Evans.
But I don't understand the Welsh thing, because you're the least Welsh-sounding person in the world. Is that?
Oh, you
Is that
noticed
the
that.
gag?
But I don't know how you can be Evans when you've got relations playing on the wing for Scotland.
With nothing to do with me. No. I mean, apparently we're Irish as well. That's
So
what I hear.
you're just about everything but Welsh, is what you're telling me.
No, Tom and Max are in the Scottish squad because their mother's mother is totally Scottish, but their mother is South African and their father's from Warrington, and still retains a very staunch Warrington accent, even though he's lived in Portugal for 35 years. I don't understand that.
I think it's probably a good time to break out the drink.
I'll have some.
It's Dino.
Hey, 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 where my rhythm side. Hey. Martino and Sway. Well, I've had Chris Evans in with me, and he's familiarising himself with the equipment, and he won't be the master of all
It's the same studio I use. For the last 4 years.
Okay. Well, he's not familiarising himself with the equipment, but he's familiarising himself with you. And mind you, take him to your hearts, because he's a really nice, decent fella. And I have here a Chris Evans cake, which Jane Asher made for us. So our thanks to David and Julie and Wendy and Jenny and Mark and Helen and Holly and Perry and Simon. And it's just so brilliant.
It is beautiful. It's very funny as well. Have you described it?
No.
You should do.
Okay. It's a Chris Evans figure, which is brilliantly lifelike, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got your little
the
bits of grey by the
All right. I knew you'd mention.
No, and also shoes, more polished than I ever wear them. My two sons give out to me all the time.
But the joke is,
they're very big shoes.
They're massive shoes and a little me, and I think that's perfect because it's absolutely true. And can I just say, everybody in our business wishes you so well and thanks you so much for being absolutely brilliant. Nobody can come close to you. I know this is embarrassing to you, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's all true. We can't wait to hear you on Sunday mornings. Again, if you don't want to leave, if you change your mind, any time before 7 o'clock on January the 11th, that's completely fine by me.
Well, I can't think of anybody better to take
well,
on
that's
the
very
show.
nice of you. I understand.
And it's
also,
going to be a great success.
But a little birdie tells me that you're staying in town tonight.
I'm no fool.
Because you fear the snow, don't you? You're staying over the road.
It would be typical, wouldn't it, that it come down in bucket loads.
Yeah. How often have you stayed over before a show? Never in 37 years.
No, you see, God is on my side.
See, now if Sarah gets snowed in and she's worried about it, you could do like 3.5 hours, which is the normal time for a breakfast show.
Don't start with that. I have enough resentment from breakfast show presenters all over Britain. You call yourself a breakfast show? It's more like lunchtime.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll be starting at 7. But Terry, seriously, you have been the governor, and thanks so much. And I can't imagine what you're going to feel like tomorrow. But lots of love.
Thank you, Chris Evans. You mind you take him to your hearts.